Ever since we descended upon this earth, we have been labelled since birth. The main purpose of this labelling system has been designed to limit and control our flow of energy. These labels that have been put on us since we came in were to restrict us from finding out who we truly are. Who we truly are is a label-free, limitless, energetic being. That is what we are. That is who we are. We are formless, limitless energy potential, ready to transform into anything we desire with the power of our consciousness. So this is who we are before any labels. So before I get into the video, the links to all of these slides that I'm going to use in this video is in the video description below. So go check that out so it's a bit easier to follow along and you'll be able to read the text and the diagrams a bit more clearly. So let's get into it. Our minds and bodies have been programmed with outdated software. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you have a computer that has the most powerful hardware. It's the latest and greatest computer that you have, and you have it now. And then you load it with an outdated operating system, one that is over 30 years old. Like you've got a brand new laptop right now and you install Windows 95 from 30 years ago. That operating system was created 30 years ago, so it's unable to recognize the hardware that you currently have. It's unable to recognize with the drivers and all of the things inside of the laptop. It's unable to recognize it. The software lacks all of the drivers. So taking that as an example, now let's say that our minds and bodies is unrecognized potential, because what has happened here? We have been installed with outdated software. We have been installed, we've been labeled, we've been told all of these things. This is who you are, this is what that. So our operating system that runs on the body, which is our mind, tells our body what to do and where to go. It drives our body. We are unable to recognize our true potential because the mind is creating the block. It lacks the drivers to recognize who it truly is or what we truly are. So we must start recognizing that this mind has been conditioned and programmed and limited from recognizing the energetic being you are. So in today's video, we are going to look at the identity network, how it's been enabled in us and how we can disable it in us. So we have been labeled since birth. I want you to imagine yourself as a baby. You would look at that baby and think they lack nothing. That baby came complete. Their value was innate from their first breath. Their value did not depend on external things like wealth, appearance, politics, or popularity. It was infinite value of a human life. And that value stays with us even as it becomes easier to forget. We are precisely as alive and precisely as human as the day we were born. The only thing we need is to exist and hope. So taking that, we must understand that we are whole and complete as we descend into this earth. We are divine beings. However, this external world has an identity network. This identity network is a form of labels. It's a labeling system trying to measure, rationalize and contain our energy. This installation process of this identity network is installed on every single baby from 0 to 7. So as soon as we're born, we start getting labels. We got our name first, we get our nationality, we get our race, all these labels, right? We already start identifying with these labels and they're already given. You're born and here's your label. This is your name, this is your nationality, this is where you're born, this is who you are. So that labeling system starts as soon as we're born. But we need to understand that this external world is just a framework. It's just a framework to understand reality, right? The labels and containers that we have are just to measure with logic and reason. Our left side of the brain is just logic, reason. It's just trying to rationalize things. It's trying to understand what reality actually is. So let's take written and spoken language. It's just a structured system. It's informal and it's open to interpretation. So I could say one word and someone else can just interpret that word completely different because it's it's informal. It's just a way of communicating, but it's open to our interpretation, because that is what labels are. That is what conditions and values and all of that thing is. It's just open to interpretation. But the framework of written and spoken language is man-made, because it's just logic. It's created off logic. The system needs a form of measurement, right? So it basically measures, it compares, it judges, and it critiques to things that fall into this framework or does not fall into this framework. This framework is enforced by society, culture, and the status quo, right? We measure, we compare, we judge, and we critique anything that does not fall into the framework and anything that falls out of the framework. So let's say you have trouble reading and speaking. You're measured by this measurement system to either you fall into this framework or you fall out the framework. And then you're given a label. You're given a label saying you're neurotypical, you follow the framework, well done. You don't follow the framework, you're neurodivergent, you're abnormal. So then you're given a label, right? This baby is now given a label saying you're abnormal, you're neurodivergent. So the world starts programming your operating system because you do not fit the bill. You do not fit the bill in this judgment and comparison and all this labeling system. You fall outside of the framework. So now you're labeled as dyslexic, you've got ADHD, and you're introvert. Your energy is contained, it's controlled, you're good at this and you're good at that, right? These are labels of limitation. It's blocking your hidden potential. Why does this matter? Because this is not true reality. So just addressing the fact that this framework is man-made, we need to understand that energy comes before language. Energy comes before any framework of reality, because that's who we truly are. We are divine beings from the one universal source energy. We are unlimited potential energy. So what we truly are is from the universal law language, which is energy, frequency, and vibration. We are labelless, we are formless, and we are limitless. So we come from that. And the more we can stay there, the more you can stay in your truest potential, the more you can stay at your highest level, and the more you can play in the flow of life rather than being limited by the labels of life. That was a good one. Labels of life. Labels of life. Right, so now let's look at identity energy containers and how it's enabled in every single one of us. So we need to understand that we are from the one source. We're from that one energy first. That is the true identity. The true identity is universal God source energy. We're all from the one. We're one infinite source of unlimited potential. And then we're split. We're broken into pieces. And this is how the universe is created. The universe is created, energy is transformed, light, heat, sound, all of these things. So energy transforms into things. So we descend into this earth as a human being. How you see me right now and how you perceive me is like this form, but our true form is actually energy. We are just a ball of light. We are a ball of energy, right? And this is your human energy field. Let's say that this is your energy field. You are human, but you have this field around you. So it's an unlimited potential field that we have around us. However, when this identity network starts getting installed in us and we start giving ourselves these labels and we start identifying with them, well, this is your energy field, your whole and complete potential to transform into anything. However, once the identity network starts giving you labels, your energy starts to split and go into containers, right? So let's say we've got this race container here, multiple different races. So you go, okay, I'm this race now. So you take that container. So your energy's gone into that container and you're with a group of people with that race. So that race, you're part of that race now. Now you go into a religion container, multiple religions, multiple containers. So I choose this religion and I'm all contained with all of these people now. And then you have a culture, you choose that container, and then you have a class. This is my social status, this is my class, and then you go through that container. So your energy is being diverted into a container of a race, a container of a religion, a container of a culture, and it's being split into all of these different containers, right? And then your energy basically energetically bonded through these containers with your emotion and your identification, saying, I am this race, I am this religion, I am this culture. So you reinforce that with your energetic bond. So it's getting diverted through all of these things. You have a lens, a filter on how you see the world, right? So let's say you start believing that you're average. You have labeled yourself as dyslexic, shy, and introvert. So your energy is going through all of these containers now. So this is your lens on how you see the world. This is how you use your energy in the world. So you say to yourself, you believe that you're just average. You believe that you have dyslexia. You're shy. You're an introvert. So your energy is going through these motions. Your energy is going through these filters, right? And then you say, oh, I'm not good at maths. Oh, I'm not creative. So you've reinforced that into your energy field. However, you need to understand that all is in the mind. If you can't, you can't. If you can, you can. But you're only going to prove yourself wrong or right, because your mind will either believe it or it won't believe it. But you are reinforcing all of these things. So knowing that your energy is going through all of these containers now, you're identifying with these things, you've got energetic bonds, you've got all these labels, you are taking all of your energy and splitting it into all these things. So you was an unlimited ball of energy from here before this identity network got installed. You was unlimited potential. And then you go through all of these containers, you label yourself, you identify yourself, you emotionally tie yourself and bond yourself through all these containers. And this is the reality you experience through the lenses of all these containers. You're split there, you're part of that, you're part of this, you're part of that. And this is how your reality is created, through the experience of all of these containerized. So how do we disable this identity network? We need to recognize that we are not these labels. We need to recognize what we truly are first, right? And the only way to do that is to start delabeling yourself. Start removing yourself and identifying with all of these labels that constrict you. A lot of the stuff, if you're saying I'm shy, I'm an introvert, I've got this and that constricts your energy. You identify with that, and then your mind reinforces that, and you live your life through these labels. So we must recognize that we are not this side. We are not all of these containers of labels and energies. We are more. And when we understand that we are more than this, then we start going through a healing process. And the only way to get rid of all of this is to start deconditioning our mind and our body. Our mind has got all of these programs and softwares and habits where you've been told and you've been conditioned. You've got all these impressions of who you are, who you think you are, what you believe. And then the body is holding all these emotions. You've got a lot of stuck emotions and energy and resentment and grudges, and we've got all this stuck energy in our body from all the childhood traumas, big or small, it doesn't matter. To you as a child, that's the biggest trauma. It could have been, oh, he didn't buy me an ice cream, he took it away, and that happened. It could be a massive trauma for you. So we must go through this deconditioning process and start healing our mind and body, because once we start shifting this stuck energy, because that's who we are, we start shifting this stuck energy, you start to empty out and you start to invite and raise your energy. You start to raise in frequency and vibration. And then you start to align your mind, body and spirit. And then you become unrestricted. Then you become unlabeled. Then you understand that you can transform into anything you want. Because you know the universal law language is energy, frequency and vibration. You are labelless, you are formless, you are limitless. Once you understand that, then you can start creating the reality you want, because your unlimited potential, your imagination is unlimited. From your desire, from your true purpose of who you want to be, who you want to, what you want to experience in this world, you have that potential. Once you remove your energy from these labels and containers and you shift into your unlimited potential, then you can start creating the life and reality you really want to experience. Lastly, I just want to talk about my personal battles with labels. So Binny's battles with labels since he was a kid. So deep down, I always felt I was different. Deep down, my mind saw the world differently, but no one really understood me. I found it really difficult when I was a child. I saw the world differently to other people, right? And that often caused name calling. I used to get called out for not being able to spell or pronounce words correctly, right? I was criticized and compared to other family members. Like my cousins used to say to me, "Oh, that's a big word, spell it." Or they'll take a mick out of me for not pronouncing a word correctly. I was like, okay. And that basically created deep fear and anxiety. Like, I didn't want to be in the spotlight. I didn't want to be put on the spot. I was afraid to speak up because I was afraid of being judged and then labeled saying, "Oh, you can't spell, you're not smart, oh, you can't read that, oh, spell it," right? I remember lots of times when I was at school, I would get anxiety and fears of being asked to read out loud. Like, I didn't want to read out loud, or being asked to spell something, or working in groups, like, and then being asked to write when you're working in a group. So this fear that I had inside of me, or fear of being misunderstood, fear of not being heard, fear of not being seen, I carried this throughout my whole life and into my adult life, right? As a kid, I just said, all right, fine, I accepted the labels. But myself, I was contained, I was controlled, and I allowed people to say, "You're good at this, you're good at that." I was like, okay. And then I had a belief saying, okay, you're not smart. You're a bit slow because you can't spell, or you can't read, or you can't pronounce this word. But that deep down, that didn't sit well with me, but I was afraid to speak out or afraid to do anything, right? I accepted these labels as truth within myself and allowed them to go through my adult life with these labels. Like I've said in the past videos, dyslexic, ADHD, introvert. I carried these labels throughout my whole life. I carried them as my belief, and this is how I operated, missing endless opportunities, missing endless experiences by living in the fear of these labels. So 2023, I was done with these labels. 2023, I was like, I'm done with hiding from all these Agent Smiths that come and go, "Oh, you spelled that wrong. Oh, you pronounced that wrong." I still get it now sometimes on my socials. I've got people that still point out that I've spelt something wrong or I've pronounced something wrong. They find it funny, but they're just an Agent Smith. If you are experiencing that, just remember, they're people that are living from that framework, that label. They want to measure you, they want to critique you because they're living from that framework. And if you pronounce a word wrong, if you spell a word wrong, they're going to come after you because you're not following the framework. You're not following the labels, right? So I was done. I was like, I'm here to teach, I'm here to share. If you can conceive and perceive what I'm saying and understand it, allow your mind to fill the gaps. I'm not here to spell everything right. I'm not here to pronounce everything right, because language is a form of interpretation. Language is open to your interpretation. You know what I'm saying. I don't have to spell everything right. I don't need to pronounce everything right. So then, when I let these labels go, when I was like, yeah, I'm not dyslexic, I'm not ADHD, I'm none of this, because who we truly are is unlimited potential energy. And then I tapped into my true self. And now, this would have held me back for so long, just even teaching things like this, being able to teach people what I have experienced, and these are my own insights and wisdom that I share with you guys. This would have held me back if I didn't go and heal all of this. If I didn't go and heal all of these labels inside of me and all these restrictions, and then come out on the other side and have my YouTube channel, have my TikTok, have me putting myself out there. I'm no longer living in these labels anymore. They're not me. I'm this universal source energy, right? So to wrap this video up, I want to leave you with something. I want you to take a mantra with you to recreate your reality, something that you all can start working on a daily basis, to start deconditioning your mind. There's a lot of work to be done to heal and to do energy work, but just to get started, everyone can try this mantra, right? You can recite it anytime, you can recite it anywhere. Close your eyes, chant it out loud, recite it in your mind. Do it as many times as you want, right? So let's do it together. Close your eyes, and it goes like this. I am energy, frequency, and vibration. I am labelless, formless, and limitless. Wherever my attention goes, my energy flows, in which that reality grows. Relax. Relax. Okay, God, speak through me. Don't overcomplicate it. Get out the mind, get out the mind, get out the mind. I'm getting out the mind. Get your mind out of the way. Out the way. Allow the divine to come in. Get your mind out of the way. That was a good one. Labels of life. Labels of life. I trust you found this video helpful. My goal is to get as many minds back online as I can, and the more minds we can get back online, we'll have a more compassionate, loving, abundant, conscious world. And that's the goal here, right? So please consider giving it a like, comment, share your thoughts. I would love to hear from you all. Hit that subscribe button to stay notified. Feel free to reach out and connect with me on all other social platforms. I've got the links down below, and let's make this a journey amazing together. And I'll catch you in the next one. Sending you much love and light, my beautiful souls. Goodbye.